I've just sunk 10 hours into the new Delta Force on my phone, basically. A full workday spent grinding its massive 64-player battles and getting my ass kicked in its high-stakes extraction mode. This game is carrying the weight of a legendary PC name, one that defined tactical shooters for so many of us way back when. So, the big question is, can the legend truly be reborn on mobile? Or is this just another free-to-play shooter wearing a nostalgia-laced skin? In this video, I'm giving you my raw, unfiltered first impressions. We'll cover the good, the bad, and whether this is a game you should be downloading to your phone right now. So after 10 hours, what's the final word? Delta Force is an incredibly polished and surprisingly complete feeling game for mobile, that is, at the same time, one of the most derivative shooters I've ever played. It cherry-picks its best ideas from giants like Battlefield, Call of Duty, and Arena Breakout, mixing them into a cocktail that feels both familiar and fresh. The end result is a fantastic, if not wildly original experience. It feels less like a sequel to the old-school tactical sims and more like a direct, and in many ways improved, answer to games like Call of Duty, mobile, but on a Battlefield scale. It doesn't break new ground, but what it does extremely well. The gunplay feels tight on touch controls. The huge battles are pure chaotic fun, and for a mobile launch, the level of polish is genuinely impressive. This isn't a revolution, but it might just be the refined, large-scale shooter a lot of us mobile players have been starving for. Let's kick off with what blew me away the most, and for me, that has to be the core gunplay and mechanics. The devs found a sweet spot here. Player movement is fluid and responsive, dodging that clunky feeling that can kill the fun in mobile shooters. The touch controls are well designed, and guns have a satisfying kick and impact. The animations are just top-notch. You can literally see the bullets in your magazine when you inspect your weapon. A small touch that adds a cool layer of realism. It really does strike a balance between the tactical feel of a Battlefield game and the faster, more aggressive gunplay of Call of Duty Mobile. This quality extends to the weapon customization, which is seriously deep, maybe even deeper than what we've seen in other top-tier mobile shooters. The number of attachments lets you tinker to your heart's content, which is a massive win for any gearhead. Next up, the main event for many, Warfare Mode. This is the 32v32, large-scale combat that feels like a full-fat Battlefield Conquest mode running on a phone, and it is glorious. The maps are enormous, with tons of room for strategic flanks and vehicle. Combat that feels way more balanced and less overwhelming than some of its competitors. You've got your tanks, helos, and boats, but they spawn on cooldowns, so the fight stays focused on infantry. The objective-based modes, like attack and defend, create a real sense of a shifting front line. Pushing through a choke point with your squad, laying down suppressive fire while a medic revives a downed buddy, these are the moments where Warfare just sings. It completely captures that only in Battlefield magic, but with a level of launch day, polish and mobile optimization that is incredible to see. And I have to talk about the campaign. The game includes a free, fully remade Black Hawk Down campaign that you can play solo or co-op. It's based on the classic 2003 PC game and the iconic movie, and it is a fantastic addition. Dropping into Mogadishu with your squad, powered by Unreal Engine 5 on a mobile device, feels incredible and adds a ton of value to the free-to-play package. Finally, let's touch on the operator and class system. While it borrows heavily from other modern shooters, it's done in a way that feels strategic. You have 4 main classes: Assault, Support, Engineer, and Recon, each with a clear job on the battlefield. Assaults push the line, Supports heal, Engineers deal with vehicles, and Recon spots enemies. What makes it click is how the unique abilities of each operator within those classes create real opportunities for smart teamwork. Whether it's Luna's Recon arrow spotting an enemy flank or Stinger's healing pistol saving a teammate from across the map. The abilities feel useful without being ridiculously overpowered. It pushes you to work together, which is absolutely critical to winning in those huge game modes. All right, let's get into what didn't quite land for me. The biggest head-scratcher right now is the second. Major game mode, Hazard Operations. This is Delta Force's stab at the high-stakes extraction shooter, like Arena Breakout or Escape from Tarkov. You drop in with a team of 3, hunt for loot on a map full of AI and other players, and try to get out alive. Die, and you lose everything you brought in. And while the mode works, and is definitely more approachable than its hardcore rivals, it feels like it's having an identity crisis. Arena Breakout works because it's brutally deep. Delta Force sands down those hardcore edges. Healing is easier. Gunplay is more forgiving, which lowers the barrier to entry, but also lowers the reward. The raw tension that defines the genre just feels diluted. It's stuck in this weird limbo. It's not the casual fun of Cody's old DMZ, but it doesn't have the heart-pounding stakes that make Arena Breakout a mobile phenomenon. After the epic chaos of Warfare, the smaller maps and slower pace of Hazard Ops can feel a little flat. The core loop is fine, but I kept wondering who this is actually for. Hardcore Extraction fans will likely find it too simple, while casual players might be scared off by the gear loss. But my single biggest letdown after 10 hours is the audio design. Look, in a tactical shooter, especially on mobile where you're relying on headphones, audio isn't just for show, it's everything. Footstep audio can be all over the place, and sometimes it's impossible to tell where you're getting shot from. Compared to the rich, detailed soundscapes of games like Arena Breakout, Delta Force can feel oddly quiet or flat. You just don't get that gut punch, feeling of a massive battle raging all around you. In a game that nails so many of the basics, the lackluster audio really stands out as a weak point that I hope gets some love in future updates. A great mobile shooter has to sound as good as it feels, and right now, this one doesn't quite get there. Now for the gray areas, the stuff that isn't good or bad, but you need to know about. First up, the progression. As a free-to-play mobile title, yep, there's a grind. Unlocking new operators, weapons, and attachments is going to take time. So far, the game doesn't feel aggressively pay to win, but the monetization is pretty extensive, with battle passes and cosmetic systems. That could be a red flag for the mobile community. For now, the grind feels fair, but the sheer number of menus and currencies can be a bit much, and it's definitely something to watch. Performance is another key point. For a brand new release on mobile, especially one this big, Delta Force is shockingly well optimized. My frame rate has been buttery smooth, which is a massive win when so many ambitious mobile games launch as a technical mess. It has a good range of graphics settings, allowing it to run well on a variety of devices. The graphics are clean and look good without making my phone feel like a hot plate, which no doubt helps keep performance solid. And the battery from draining instantly. Finally, there's the learning curve. The basics are easy to pick up if you've ever played CODM or PUBG Mobile. But mastering the game takes time. Map knowledge is absolutely vital in both warfare and operations, and you need to understand each operator's strengths and weaknesses to succeed. There's a firing range and tutorials, but just be ready to get steamrolled. For your first few hours while you learn the flow, the time to kill can feel a little high. So you have to master the touch controls to stay on target. And some players have noted that visual recoil can make certain gunfights feel a bit random. So after 10 hours, let's get back to that main question. Is Delta Force truly back on mobile? If you're hoping for a revival of the slow, punishing tactical PC sim from the 90s, then no, this isn't that game. But if you're asking if Delta Force is back as a major force in the mobile FPS scene, the answer is a huge yes. This game is a beautifully made love letter to the last decade of shooters, all squeezed onto your phone. It feels like the Battlefield mobile we never got, a polished, content-rich, and just plain fun large-scale shooter. So who is this for? If you're a Call of Duty, mobile, or PUBG mobile fan who's been craving that massive warfare experience, you will be right at home here. Warfare is arguably one of the best large-scale shooter experiences on mobile right now. If you're an Arena Breakout veteran, you'll probably find Hazard Operations a bit shallow, but it could be a great, less stressful alternative when you don't want to risk your best gear. And if you're just looking for a new, high-quality shooter with more scale and team play, this is an easy recommendation. Since it's free to play, there is absolutely zero reason not to give this a try. It's a polished, fun, and surprisingly deep shooter that manages to stand tall, even on the shoulders of giants. That's my take after 10 hours. But this game is massive, and I'm just scratching the surface. I want to know what you think. What do you love? What do you hate? Drop a comment below and let me know. I'll be diving back in to see how the game grows, so be sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.